Now on CoastTV News.
Storefront crash. What we know after a car slammed into Dollar Tree in Milford. A wire hazard in Millsboro. What had fire crews shutting down part of Cordery Road this week. And a casting competition. What brought dozens to the water in Salisbury today.
Well, we had downpours, we had sunshine, plenty of humidity. Now we have some fog forming. Another mild, muggy night ahead before things turn unsettled once again into our Sunday. My full forecast is coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with shocking video out of Milford. Milford police are investigating after a car crashed into Dollar Tree this afternoon. Police say it happened around 3:30 in the store parking lot off South DuPont Boulevard when, for unknown reasons, a gold Hyundai left the road and hit the store. Take a look at your screen now. This is video from someone who was obviously in the store when it happened. Police say a 97-year-old woman was hit and airlifted to the hospital in critical but stable condition. Also, a 76-year-old woman was also injured by falling debris. She was later released, and the 44-year-old driver was also hospitalized. Anyone with information should contact Milford Police. Now to Millsboro, where the Indian River Fire Company and Delaware State Fire Police responded to this situation Friday. It was a report of wires down in the road. Officials say these low-hanging telephone and cable wires were a safety hazard for drivers near Cordery Road, and the Indian River Fire Company says utility service providers were notified so they could fix it. Well, if you're planning to visit the Delaware Seashore this summer, you may encounter some temporary delays, also limited parking. DenRec says it will be testing equipment on the south side of the Indian River Inlet over the next 10 to 12 weeks. Work began last week on the inlet's sand bypass system. Other work expected to continue until mid-August. DenRec says work may cause rip currents, so swimmers should stay alert, follow all posted signs. Now we're going to take a live look outside into Dover and turn things over to our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobono. How are you, Chris?
Hey there, Christina. Well, I'll tell you what, it is a sticky night out there. We had a few downpours around lunchtime today, but we rallied. We had some sunshine in the afternoon, and it's been a pretty pleasant evening despite the humidity. We made it up to 82 today in Georgetown and in Salisbury. Lower 80s across the eastern shore. The warm spot, Wallops Island, coming in at 85, and then we had 77 in Ocean City. Had a pretty good shower that came in there right around lunchtime that brought some heavy downpours. But yes, it is muggy out there at this hour. 71 degrees. Note the dew point 70. Winds are pretty calm. We're beginning to see some fog form parts of the area. We're at 71 in Rehoboth, 73 in Lewis. We're at 68 in Harrington and 72 in Seaford. Pretty mild for this time of night, but check out the dew points, upper 60s to lower 70s, so we're still seeing those uncomfortable dew points. Now we have a cold front that's pushing through the area, and it's going to kind of stall out to our south, and then this area of low pressure and warm front pushing eastward is going to impact the region tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. Now we do have a threat for severe storms tomorrow. We're going to have to watch it closely how it develops, because the atmosphere is going to play a critical role in how storms develop across the peninsula. We stay drier Monday, but still on the humid side. A cold front comes through on Tuesday, bringing another chance for storms, and then we see summer-like air build in mid to end of the week. We could see our first 90-degree day of the year. We'll talk more about that and the storms tomorrow and the full 7-day forecast here in a little bit. Christina?
Thank you very much, Chris. And as Chris was saying, it was definitely a gray Saturday today, but the rain held off for Wicomico County's annual Youth Fishing Derby. From 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. this morning, young anglers ages 15 and under came out to Salisbury City Park to cast their lines in the water. After hooking their catch, each participant had their fish measured by volunteers. Prizes were then awarded for categories including most fish caught, most unusual catch, and the biggest fish. We heard from some of those participants today.
I've been fishing a couple more times before. We've been here for a little while and I got a couple nibbles, but I haven't caught a fish yet.
It's fun. I actually got called for my number and I got a fishing rod.
It had basically a mini tackle box attached to it. It had 2 bobbers, some bait, hooks, more bait, slob bait.
Sounds like a lot of fun there. In the Wicomico County Youth Fishing Derby, it's been a community tradition for more than 50 years. Now to Ocean City, where big tents are now banned. The town says the new rules will take effect immediately. Baby tents are still allowed, but all other tents and unattended canopies set up before 10 a.m. are banned. The rules also require at least 3 feet of space between canopies and prohibit anchors or stakes that extend beyond the canopy's edge. Selbyville leaders are looking to formalize a ban on short-term rentals. Officials say it would target rentals of less than 1 year within town limits. The current code does not explicitly prohibit short-term rentals. Neighbors we spoke with, though, they're mixed on the proposal.
I think it'll benefit business to have people come and stay at the rentals because they're not locals. You know, locals from around that way, you know, we're not paying the high ticket prices other, areas.
If you have people that are buying, they're going to be more secure and more permanent, and they pay taxes.
And Selbyville town leaders are looking to hold a public hearing about this on July 7th. Now to a massive hack into intimate photos of thousands of college athletes around the country. And the Department of Justice says the man behind it is a former college and NFL coach. NBC's Liz Kreutz spoke with one of the victims.
He spent years on the sidelines of some of the most storied football programs in the country, most recently as an assistant coach at the University of Michigan. Now, the Department of Justice says Matt Weiss was the mastermind of a massive data breach, mostly targeting female college athletes.
This is the second email that I got.
A few months ago, former Cal State San Bernardino volleyball player Allie Torline started getting letters and emails from the DOJ telling her she may have had sensitive photos and information stolen by Weiss, a man she says she's never met.
It's really hard to find the words to explain what a violation it was.
According to an indictment, between 2015 and 2023, Weiss illegally accessed the personal accounts of more than 3,300 people, obtaining private photographs and videos never intended to be shared beyond intimate partners. The indictment says he did it in part by hacking into a system that maintains databases that store the personal information of athletes from more than 100 colleges and universities. He then downloaded the data of more than 150,000 people and used it to crack passwords for email, social media, and cloud accounts. The DOJ says he kept notes on his victims, commenting on their bodies and their sexual preferences.
For him to take his position, basically a position of power, and fully abuse it, I mean, it's gross.
What, if anything, were you told about what Matt Weiss obtained from you?
The most information I got was that it was personally identifiable, so not knowing what's out there is definitely something that is intimidating.
Now 30, Allie is part of a class action lawsuit alleging negligence in the handling of student data.
We see this as a form of sexual assault. We do not want this happening to young adults ever again.
Weiss, who was fired from the University of Michigan in 2023, has pled not guilty to multiple counts, including aggravated identity theft. His attorney did not respond to NBC News' multiple requests for comment. Allie's university says it has no record of any contracts or payments to the third-party system named in the indictment. She now coaches high school volleyball and worries about her own students.
The institutions have to do a better job of protecting student athletes, especially female student athletes.
Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
And we are just getting started tonight. Coming up, a scam warning from the Georgetown Police Department and what officers want you to be aware of.
And I'm tracking a lot of cloud cover, muggy conditions, and a chance for some severe storms tomorrow afternoon through tomorrow evening. And then we dry things out, but stay pretty muggy into Monday. We'll have the latest timing on those storms coming up.
But first, it's been a fiery week on Delmarva. We have your top stories in our weekend review when CoastTV News at 11 returns. From controversial legislation to a major extension, there was a lot going on this week here on the coast. And don't worry if you missed a story, because Madeline Overturf has a look at our week in review.
A hearing at Legislative Hall for Senate Bill 159 was the first step in overriding a vote against an offshore wind substation. The bill would mandate conditional land use applications be accepted for substations if they meet specific requirements, regardless of past votes. Opponents say it's government overreach. A massive months-long review of fire departments in Sussex County was unveiled, saying fire companies are well-led but not as a system. Consultants recommend the county and fire departments create a strategic plan with more rigorous purchasing policies, and the county impose a fire service fee they recommend to help fund departments. Starting Wednesday, the Knights of Columbus and nonprofit group 22 a Day will plant 22 crosses at St. Jude's in Lewis each and every morning until July 6th. It's to raise awareness about veteran suicide. For the second time, voters rejected the Indian River School District's referendum request. The district says it will need to start cutting programs. Rehoboth Beach extended the demolition permit for a new boardwalk hotel. The city is now allowing demo until June 27th. For your Week in Review, I'm Madeline Overturf.
Well, the humidity will be joining you if you have any brunch plans tomorrow. Looking at a lot of cloud cover in the morning, a few stray showers, and then all eyes turn towards the latter part of the day into the early evening hours. We could be dealing with a round of severe storms. We'll talk more about that coming up when Coast TV News at 11 continues. Well, tonight certainly has that summer-like feel on Delmarva, and folks enjoying the Ocean City Boardwalk, all it has to offer. Enjoying the rides, late night stroll on the boards, and it is muggy out there. 68 degrees currently in Ocean City. Dew point 67. Winds are relatively calm out of the southwest. Seeing some fog begin to develop in and around Ocean City, and that will be an issue into the overnight as we'll see areas of fog develop, all thanks to the muggy conditions out there. We're at 70 in Bethany Beach. We're at 72 Lewis, 71 in Milton, 69 in Milford, and we are at 71 in Laurel. Those dew points still at an uncomfortable level, upper 60s to lower 70s, and we're going to be stuck in the muggy conditions through tomorrow, Monday, and into Tuesday. We make it a little kind of reprieve into Wednesday before they go right back up Thursday and Friday of next week. We have a cold front that's pushing through the area. Now, what's going to happen is front's going to stall to our south. You can see plenty of moisture, severe weather back off to the west. This area of low pressure and warm front is going to make a beeline to our area come tomorrow. So we're at 65 tonight, mostly cloudy night, muggy with the areas of fog developing. So there's the low to our west, the low to our south. The low is going to be pushing to our north, and the warm front's going to be lifting through the area come tomorrow night. That may spawn a few strong to severe storms. As far as the forecast goes for tomorrow, a lot of cloud cover. You can see a brief morning shower. Otherwise, 72 in Lewis, 69 in Rehoboth, 72 in Dewey, a bit milder to the south, 75 in Ocean City, and 77 in Chickasaw. So this is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center. That marginal risk for most of Delmarva, but you see this yellow area extending from the southern eastern shore down through Cambridge and Chickasaw. That is a slight risk. Now, the Storm Prediction Center is going to update this overnight, but the damaging wind and isolated tornado threat, primarily southwest. I think the core of the severe weather is going to be off to our southwest. Now, the problem is we're going to have an east wind, so the atmosphere might be a bit stable to support any type of severe weather development. Now, we see some storms firing up across the eastern shore tomorrow afternoon. After about 3, between 3 and 10 is going to be kind of our window. And there's a storm pushing through Crisfield and Chickasaw by around 9:30. And then the warm front lifts northward. And then in the wee hours of tomorrow, Monday morning, we see those storms lifting through Delmarva. So we're going to have to see that how that evolves. Again, you can download our First Alert weather app for all the latest on that. 72% chance of precipitation tomorrow. We see the drop into Monday, but then we go right back up into Tuesday, all thanks to another warm front that's going to bring a chance for showers and even storms into Tuesday. But as that front passes, skies clear and temperatures go up. We're looking at a high of 85 into Wednesday, and then I think we have a good shot of hitting 90 degrees for the first time this year come either Thursday or Friday.
All right, thank you, Chris. Well, scammers are posing as an officer from the Georgetown Police Department, and Coast TV reporter Zakia Jennings shows us what police believe these scammers are doing to level up their ways to con and steal from victims.
Lieutenant Joel Diaz is listening to a voicemail. The only problem is the person on the voicemail is claiming to be Lieutenant Diaz.
Yes, ma'am. This is Detective Sergeant Joel Diaz, Georgetown Police Department.
This is the first sign that you are not speaking with someone from the Georgetown Police Department. Joel Diaz was promoted to lieutenant 3 years ago. This scam started back in 2024 when Lieutenant Diaz says he became an unsuspecting target.
I was angry because for 20 some odd years, I have attempted to build trust-based relationships with this community. So that is an attack on the trust that I have with the community.
Mara Driggers was a victim of the scam. She spoke with the scammers for nearly 10 minutes before realizing something was wrong.
They're targeting each individual based on facts that they're finding about you on the internet. So that's a scary thing.
If you listen closely, you hear pauses between the scammer's words.
Convenience, you can reach me on my field line here at...
Lieutenant Diaz says he believes AI may have been used to generate that message.
The computer programs or the softwares are getting better at creating images, duplicating voices. Now the question is, if the crime's on video, there's a secondary question. And the secondary question is it a real video? Is it a real phone call? Are they real images?
Lieutenant Diaz acknowledges people are on autopilot most days, but urges people to
pause. Sometimes you have to just pause and really process the information.
A community working to keep each other safe as technology grows. In Georgetown, Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
Now we go to Kent County, where a beloved park that's been part of the community for 30 years is nearing its final chapter. Piccadilly Castle, the playground tucked inside Brecknock County Park in Camden, it holds some special memories for generations of families, with slides, tire swings, and castle-like design. Kent County Parks and Rec announced that due to its aging infrastructure, it plans to replace the park. Many neighbors say it's hard to say goodbye to a place that has meant so much for decades.
My kids were little then, and we loved coming here. I guess it was fairly new then. I don't even remember, but it was always a nice park to come to. And now they're grown and they have their own children, and they're still coming here. So we love this park.
And Kent County Parks and Rec officials say plans are still in the early stages. Updates will be shared on their Facebook page as they shape the future of the park. Coming up after the break here on Coast TV News at 11, a breast cancer breakthrough and what AI has to do with it. Well, the company Church & Dwight announced it is voluntarily recalling 3 items. It's Zicam Cold Remedy nasal swabs, its Zicam nasal all clear swabs, and its Oragel baby teething swabs. It's because the swabs may be contaminated with a fungi. If used, people could suffer a serious and life-threatening blood infection. Children and people with compromised immune systems or underlying medical conditions are at most risk. And the company says so far, no one has reported becoming ill. It's recommending anyone with the products to either throw them away or get a refund. Also in health news tonight, a breakthrough in AI breast cancer detection technology. It's been approved by the FDA. Dave Horwitz reports on the tech company Clarity, which is helping predict a woman's risk of developing breast cancer in the next 5 years.
AI is going to be huge in medicine.
Dr. Weiner, the director of the Yale Cancer Center, says the current ways to detect breast cancer cannot be ignored, but also can be improved.
Mammography isn't necessarily the next best thing since sliced bread. We need to do better than that.
Connie Lehman, the founder of the technology company Clarity and a professor of radiology at Harvard Medical School, is trying to do just that. Clarity Breast, which was recently approved by the FDA, uses AI to analyze a mammogram and can catch abnormalities missed by the human eye.
We're predicting not right now whether or not a woman has breast cancer, but what does her future look like? What is her future 5-year risk of developing a breast cancer?
She says right now it is very difficult to determine a woman's actual risk of developing breast cancer.
85% of patients that are diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history. And that's That's what we're tackling.
Dr. Mahavi Raghu with Connecticut Breast Imaging says it is a good thing more and more people are coming in for preventative care.
When we have tools like AI, it's going to really help the radiologist make more accurate diagnoses.
But she says the personal connection between a doctor and a patient is irreplaceable.
Many of my patients really like it when I go into the room and tell them everything is okay. And it's nice to hear that from another human being.
And Dr. Weiner says it is important to not be fearful of a breast cancer screening and rather think of it as a way of staying healthy. As for the rollout of the new technology, it's already in the works. Lehman says they're hopeful it will be available by the end of the year. Also, 4 states have asked the Food and Drug Administration to lift special restrictions on the abortion pill mifepristone. The Attorneys General of Massachusetts, New York, California, and New Jersey filed the petition, the states hoping the move will push the FDA to review the extensive research that determined the pill's safety and effectiveness. The state's petition would also prevent the FDA from further restricting mifepristone while the petition is pending, and the FDA has 180 days to respond. Coming up next, we're going to take a live look into Salisbury, and meteorologist Chris Mastrobono will have one more check on the forecast. The Coast TV News team is celebrating some big wins at this year's Chesapeake Associated Press Broadcasters Association Awards, bringing home 8 honors, including Outstanding News Operation for the 3rd year in a row. Other first-place awards included Best TV News Anchor for Charlie Sakaitis, Best Multimedia Journalist for Brandon Ferguson, who you might notice I'm filling in for tonight. Also, Best Enterprise Reporting for our look into property assessment issues. Way to go, team.
Yeah, my man Brandon taking home the hardware tonight, and congratulations to all my teammates. Ocean City right now, it is a muggy night out there, 69 degrees, 67 degree humidity dew point, and we're going to see some fog develop through the overnight. Temperatures not falling off all that much, mid-60s. You can get your forecast anytime by dialing our First Alert weather phone. Now, an unsettled Sunday. We'll see a few showers in the morning, then watching the threat for some potential severe storms in the afternoon through the evening. We dry things out in the Monday, then another threat of storms Tuesday with the passage of a cold front, and then we see some summer-like warmth build in through the mid part of the week and end of the week, and we're dry too, at least through Friday, and then we'll see another chance of storms into Saturday with a cold front.
All right, sounds good to me. Thank you, Chris, and thanks to you at home for joining us for Coast TV News at 11 tonight. You can always find some more local news and local weather on our Coast TV News app. Saturday Night Live starts right now. Have a good night.